Hello, friends, and welcome, new people. I don't say that very much in my videos, and I really should. Welcome. If you're new here, thanks for coming. Hit the subscribe button so you can get more of my content. Give me a thumbs up if you like this ahead of me doing it. I don't know how that works, but let's throw this stuff at the beginning of a video instead of the end for a change, and see how that shakes things up. I am Brian, Gizmo Board Games. Today, in the spirit of this being close to Halloween, I'm going to do a game that feels kind of like a Halloween game. It doesn't feel like a Halloween game, but it does have witches. And that's Salem 1692, a game that was Kickstarter in 2015 by Facade Games. It's Travis and Holly Hancock created this, and I believe this is the first of the Facade games. Don't quote me on it. And all their games are small, little book games. I really enjoy the way they look on the shelf. I'll put that there for now, and we'll get into the review and the old Gizmo rating scale as we go and give my final thoughts. I don't think I'm going to bother doing the whole inlay. Maybe I will by the time I edit this, but right now I'm planning on just doing this one as a talk-through review and not laying things out. There are plenty of pictures of the game you can see elsewhere. So, without any further ado, I'll talk about what this game is. Salem 1692 is a witch hunt game. It's for 2 to 8 or 9 players. It's definitely very much a group game. I would not play it at 2, 3, probably not even 4. It's very much for a bigger player count. You'll get more out of it. But what you're going to do is you're going to shuffle in a certain number of witch cards into a stack of trial cards dictated by the player count. Shuffle those up, lay them face down in 4 or 5 in front of each player. Everybody's going to look at their own, put them in whatever order they want to, and figure out if they indeed are a witch. And if they're a witch, their job is to try to kill off the non-witches or convert them. One player will be the constable, and their job is to try to protect the players. And the non-witches' jobs are to show who the witches are and to eliminate them. Witches will be eliminated once they've been revealed as a witch. Or if you've been revealed even after you've moved on the witch card, because that is a thing that can happen in the game. Your witch card could be moved, but you will remain a witch. Once a witch, always a witch. But if you are eliminated from the game, you will have to declare if you were ever a witch as well. Once all players who have been witches are eliminated, then the non-witches are determined the winner. It's mostly a fun game. It relies on you kind of being quiet about your role. And that's true of a lot of the Facade games, and I'll get into that maybe later with my thoughts. But I'm going to say, just in case I don't, that I'm not a big fan of having secrets that you can or cannot or you're supposed to reveal, but nobody's going to know 100% whether you're telling the truth or not, generally. In some cases, yeah, they'll be able to rationalize it. This is a party game to an extent, but it does have a little bit of, I guess, not party style that people might be used to elements. But what you're going to do on your turn is you're going to draw cards into your hand or play cards from your hand onto other players, either to protect them or to accuse them of being a witch. And once I think it's 7 accusations have been made against a player, you get to choose one of their face down cards to reveal. If it's not a witch, nothing happens. If it is a witch, then they've been revealed as a witch, etc. And if it's the last card that ends up face up in front of them, that player is eliminated. It does have that player elimination game, as a lot of party games seem to do in some extent. So that's basically the flow of the game is you're drawing cards or playing cards from your hand to accuse people of being witches and revealing their trial cards. At the end of the deck, or at the end of the day, the deck represents one day, you go to night phase where everybody will hide their eyes. Witches will decide one player on the table to kill off immediately, and that player could potentially be out of the game. However, one player, who is the constable, if they're not revealed, they would then uncover their eyes and pick one player out of the group to save from the witch's wrath. they'll close their eyes, and then everybody will come back and they'll see who was or they'll have a period of time to declare whether or not they want to reveal one of their trial cards to protect themselves from death. All players who are protected from death can't have been killed off by the witches. Anybody protected by the constable, who with the little gavel that's in the box set in front of them, are protected from the witches as well by the constable, as long as there's a constable in the game. Once constable is revealed, then, obviously there's no more constable in that phase, and you can be a witch and a constable simultaneously, adding a little bit of a flair to that as well, because it's all based on the shuffle of the cards and the movement of the trial cards, which can happen from certain actions too, where you're trading trial cards with players. Anyway, once everybody's declared whether they want to save themselves or they've been saved by the constable, the player who was killed off by the witch is revealed, and if they haven't been saved, they are out of the game, and potentially they could become the town crier, the narrator, the person who kind of controls the closing your eyes, open your eyes actions phases of the game, because you will do one at the beginning of the game, so the witches know who they each are if there's more than one, and you'll do it at every night phase, where the witches will team up and decide who they're killing off. There is a kill deck, so you don't need someone to moderate. They could just look through the deck quietly and put that card out, face down, obviously, because everybody's going to have a character card. And that's the gist of the game, is trying to reveal the witches before they kill off all the not witches. Getting into the gameplay, for me, again, I've already hinted at it. I am not a big social deduction player. I don't like lying, deceiving, whatever the case is. I'm just not a big fan of that. And social deduction games are that at some essence of their nature. They're just, you're going to be holding information back or lying about something or whatever the case is. And I'm just not good at that. It's not fun to me. I'd much rather play a 3, 4, 5 player, Euro game too. So I don't mind that I like having this in my collection as a game that, expands up. And when we have a big group together, there's a lot of people in my group who really enjoy playing Salem and get a lot of fun out of it. For me, it's not my style of game, so I lead with that. But I will also follow up with, I think this is my favorite that I've played. I haven't played a lot, not my style, of social deduction, large player count games that I have played and that I own, because I do own a lot of the facade games, and they're all similar in nature and definitely in player count. Salem is my favorite of those. So I will say that I enjoy that for what it is. I've covered how the game plays, and I think that covers pretty much my thoughts on the gameplay itself. And yeah, it's got the player elimination. I'm not a big fan of that, but the game mostly plays quick enough, 30 to 45 minutes, that doesn't matter, although it can feel bad to be the first one out. But at least you can moderate if you don't already have someone moderating the game, so you still are involved. And sometimes it is fun to watch the witches, what they're doing to quell the non-witches, and vice versa.
What makes you think she's a witch? Well, she turned me into a newt.
So it gets into that fun social dynamic. I do enjoy that, whether I'm in the game or outside of it. Just everybody taking on kind of the role of witch accusers from Salem. All right, so the ingredients. I'll pull it out here. Standard card deck, bunch of cards. 2 decks come in the box. A timer in case you need to speed up things, and the gavel underneath. Nice little wooden piece. It's all average. Not bad. I do love these facade boxes, though. They look great on the shelf. They look like books. You can put them on a bookshelf and say, hey, you want to play a game? Boom, pull off. People think you're crazy, maybe. I don't know. I've got 3 of the 4 as of right now facade games. I do really enjoy the boxes. The components themselves for this game, deck of cards, whatever, standard deck of card, average all around. But I do like the box. Sorry about the back. All right, next up, is it easy to play? Yeah, it's pretty easy to play. You're drawing cards, you watch what they do. is on it. You're playing out protection cards, you're playing cards that say trade, or you're just playing accusation cards, and you're counting to the required number of accusations, picking a card and having the person flip it over. You've got a couple phases, the pre-phase, the night phase, where you do gotta close your eyes and kind of do your bits, and nothing about the game play is hard, challenging, or anything. Just the social deduction aspect of it is going to be the challenge, and how you manage that, whether you're trying to deduce or you're trying to thwart. Nothing super challenging or in depth or anything about it. It is what social deduction is. A little bit of a gameplay off of each other, a little bit of luck, draw cards, do actions, whatever. So yeah, gameplay, or easy to play. Yeah, it's easy to play for the most part. More of it. Do I want more of it? Me, no. I could care less. Again, not my style of game, but my favorite that I have played of the style. So in that regard, sure, I'll play it. Whatever. I typically don't. Variety, not a whole lot of it. Again, the games, the groups are going to make the game. So if you play in a bunch of different groups, different times, different ways, yeah, the group's going to make it or break it, because the gameplay is going to be pretty much the same. You've got the same deck of cards going through, and you're doing the same thing from game to game with the same, 40, 50 cards. Nothing changes from game to game other than who is and isn't the witch and how your group manages each other. So I think as far as more of it, I could take it or leave it, but that's because it's not my style of game. I think the group's going to make or break whether you're really wanting to keep playing it or not. And, my group, for the most part, yeah, I don't mind pulling out and playing with them. It's just not my style of game. And finally, originality. I think this is pretty original. Take the Salem Witch Trials and turn it into a party game, social deduction game. I think that's pretty great. I'm not sure if this was their first game, or I think it was, but good taking that witch trial concept and turning it into a fun social deduction game. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about it. The theme, pretty original gameplay. Draw cards, accuse each other. I think that's probably been done in other social deductions. So my final thoughts here. I gave it 3 out of 5 gizmos. Yeah, whatever. Average game. Social deduction. I for social deduction, if I were more into that mechanism, that class of games, I'd maybe rate it a 3.5 or perhaps a 4. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It is what it is. It does the job. It gets the group together laughing and accusing each other of being witches in a relatively quick period of time. And then you can break off and play other games, or, shuffle it back up and spin it again. Whatever is good for your group. Yeah, it's good. Average to good. Whatever. 3 out of 5 gizmos. Board Game Geek, 6.5 out of 10. Again, it is what it is. It's a witch hunt game with your friends. Salem, 1692. I can't get good light in here, and now I'm covering my face. I'm looking at that and not at you. You don't like that. But if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Leave some comments below if you played this. What else you think you might like to see from me in the future. Whatever you want to comment below, I'll read it. And hit the subscribe to see more videos like this every Sunday. I'll bring you something else, including 1 review a month, and this covers my review for October, which is close to Halloween. I am leaving now. Thanks for watching.